Hi, Grandma Debbie here. All right, so tonight we're going to have a baked Italian chicken. So I'm using chicken breasts, and while it calls for 4 chicken breasts, I'm only doing 1 because it's a huge chicken breast, and there's only 2 of us. So I'm going to make it work, but it's gonna be really good. It's a delicious recipe, and it's super simple. And in fact, I got it out of this cookbook, 5 ingredients or less. And so we're going to get started. The hardest part about this is just assembling it. Everything else is just super simple because it just goes in the oven and cooks away until it's time to eat. Okay, so I've got my oven heating up to 375. And while it doesn't say to do this, I'm still going to do it anyway. I'm going to spray my pan with some cooking spray. Just makes cleanup a lot easier. Okay, so we got that done. All right, now we're going to melt. It says to melt a whole cube, but since I'm only doing 1 chicken breast, I don't feel the need to do a whole cube. All right, so I'm going to get this in the microwave. Okay, so I got it out of the microwave. You're going to take 1 Italian salad dressing mix, and let me get this where you can see it. And you're going to mix your mix it into the butter. So I'm just going to kind of mix it up here. Now, if I feel like I need more butter, I'm going to go ahead and melt more, of course. Okay, so we're going to move that off to the side. Then we're going to use some breadcrumbs, the Italian style breadcrumbs. Once again, I'm just going to eyeball how much I think I'm going to need. And if I need more, I will definitely add more. But right now, I think that's all I'm going to need. All right, so I'm going to move this off to the side as well. Then I'm going to get my chicken breast and a knife. And I'm going to cut my chicken breast. And I'm just cutting it into thirds. All right, so now I'm going to take my chicken breast and I'm going to dip it into the butter mixture. And then I'm going to roll it into the breadcrumbs. Now, I know that you're supposed to have 1 dry hand, 1 wet hand. I seem to always just do it my way, and that is the way I'm doing it. I just have wet hands all over the place. I try to do it, but it doesn't work out for me. Maybe it would work out for you. I don't know. I am going to have to add some more breadcrumbs. So I'm going to go ahead and get my breadcrumbs and add some more. And you just want to kind of coat it all the way around. Now you also, you can use thighs if you want. You're just going to want to take the skin off. You're not necessarily going to want any bones in there, so you're going to want to make sure there's no bones. I mean, you can do it with bones. If that's what you have, go for it. It's completely up to you. All right. Now I am going to go ahead and dump the rest of the butter over the chicken and get out all this goodness. I don't want it to go to waste. And then I'm going to dump the rest of the breadcrumbs. Once again, I don't necessarily want it to go to waste. All right, I need to wash my hands. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So once my oven is heated up, it's getting close. We're going to put it in the oven. We're going to cook it for 45 to 60 minutes. Now I'm going to set it for a half hour first and check it out that way and see how it comes out first. And then we'll go from there and I'll bring you along. Okay, so to go with our chicken, I generally don't make this, but my husband asked for it. And so I'm making it for him. We're having rice A Roni. It's been so long since we've had this, and we were at the grocery store and he was like, oh, that sounds so good, we should get that. And so I was like, all right, let's get it. And it's been sitting in the cupboard in the pantry for quite a while. So I thought, you know what, tonight I'm going to make it go with the chicken. Now you can do this apparently from what the box says. You can do it in the microwave or you can do it on the stovetop. We're doing it on the stovetop. So I've got a skillet, and let's see, we're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of butter. So I've got my butter. And we're going to add this to our skillet. Do you guys make this? And if so, do you have a trick that you use, or do you just make it? All right, then, so we got that in there. Then we're going to add, we're going to do this over medium heat. So then we're going to add in the box of pasta, and we're going to hold back the seasoning packet. This is the seasoning packet. We're going to hold off on that. Okay. And then what are we going to do? All right, so we're going to keep stirring until it is golden brown. Okay. I can handle that. Like I said, it's been a long time. I don't remember the last time that we had this. And I was really surprised when my husband was like, let's get it. Like, all right. Not a fan, but he likes it, apparently. So we're going to have it. Could have cut the butter up into smaller chunks. So it melts a little better. I just got the butter out of the refrigerator, so it's kind of cold. I didn't think about that. All right, got it cut up a little bit into smaller chunks. We'll get it going here. Now I am planning on serving a vegetable as well. I think I'm going to do peas. I originally thought I would do green beans, but my green beans went bad, so they're now sitting in the garbage without ever being cooked. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but they were extremely mushy when I opened the package. Couldn't even tell you when we bought them. It does get a little fragrant. How brown is it supposed to be? Okay. Until, oh, it says golden brown. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. Now, apparently you can also add things to this to make it an actual meal. You can add in, it says you can add some, you can add in a chopped, stir in corn and or chopped green bell pepper during the last 5 minutes of simmering. You can also add cooked sausage and slice it into thin slices. Interesting. Okay. All right. It's golden brown. So we're going to add 2 and a half cups of water. And then we're going to add in the seasoning packet. We're going to mix this up. I'm going to turn this down just a tad bit. I hope my husband likes this. I don't know about it. And if there's a way to slop it all over, I'm going to figure it out. All right, so there's still some lumps in here. So let's just keep going until we got the lumps out. All right, and then what does it say to do? Okay, we're going to bring it to a boil. So I probably need to bring it up a little bit. All right, so looks like it's now boiling. So let me do a quick little stir. All right, then I'm going to reduce the heat to a simmer. Right? Oh, to low. All right. And then I'm going to put the lid on. Now my lid doesn't really fit the skillet too well, but that's okay. And we're going to let it cook for about 15-20 minutes. We'll come back and check on it in 20 minutes. Okay, so the chicken just beeped. So I'm going to go ahead and get it out, and I'm going to see if it needs to cook longer. And I think what I'm going to do also is I'm going to turn it. And I do believe that it's going to need to cook a little bit longer. Whoops. But I'm going to check it real quick. Do a little temperature read on it. All right, it does need to cook just a few more minutes longer. So I'm going to put this back into the oven. I'm going to add a little bit of butter though, just to kind of keep it moist. So we're going to put it back into the oven for about 5-10 minutes. All right, so while that's happening, we're going to look at our rice and see how it's doing. All right, it also looks like it needs a little bit more time to cook. So looks like everything's going along as planned. All right, so we're going to continue to let this cook, and we'll see what happens in 5 minutes. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that you're having an amazing day and everything's going great. This was a super simple recipe to make. It only required, what, 4 ingredients, so super simple. So, make it up. You can easily do this after work or after a busy day. You could whip it up and get it in the oven and go about your day. You can eat this with mashed potatoes. You can have it with just white rice, brown rice, Rice A Roni, like what we're having. You can have it with a nice salad. There's all kinds of different things that you can have this recipe with. So once again, I hope that you try it and make it your own. All right. Well, once again, I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Hit that like, hit the share, and hit the subscribe button. Bye.